All right, and we're back here on another Couch Coach Live. Once again, we're live here on a Tuesday edition of Couch Coach Live. We're actually live. I know the last couple of nights we did our previews, and we're back. What's going on, Maui?
Chilling, man. What's going on? What's going on?
Not much, man. Just the same old. Just working. Just keep on working and grinding. That's all. That's all I can do.
I seen you chilling, man. You was up there at the race up there. How was
Yeah.
it? Zoom zoom. Was it packed?
Oh yeah, it was nice, and the crazy thing about all of it, it was nice. It's one of the things where, obviously that was the first time being a part of a NASCAR event, that as far as from a media standpoint, so it was cool. I mean, all the access that they have for their fans, it was great. Like they it's just it's a great sport that's really conducive to the fans. Where it's very, I call it like a user friendly sport, where hey, they have so many opportunities where people can get all this great access to stuff like the garages, the pit, all kind of stuff. So it's great. Just be able to and meet some people. Obviously, Chase Young was out there, so
Oh,
I was
wow.
able to take a picture out with him, and then actually talk with him after he did the interviews, just for brief. We just seen him at the media room, and it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Talked to him for like 2 seconds here and there,
Okay.
and then what's crazy? I seen MJ. What is crazy? So so
Who?
Michael Jordan.
What?
Yeah. So what's funny, right? So because we were in the media center, so we were trying to get Bubba Wallace. So then we were told, hey, because Bubba didn't finish in the top 10, so he was gonna be on the other side of the turn. So they was like, hey, if you want to reach out to get the Bubba, y'all probably need now before for the drivers coming to the media center for the interviews. So we get ready to go into the turn. As we going into the turn, we see MJ coming out, and it's so crazy because it's like MJ really just fit in. It was so bizarre because you think to yourself, like, if he was like at a basketball court, he would have been mobbed. But
Right.
like at NASCAR, it was just like everybody's like MJ, and then it was just like he just whoop, and it was wild. It was so crazy.
Man, you
But
got to see your goat, huh?
yeah, man, that was
That's what's
wild,
up.
and it's
That's
so
what's up.
crazy. Like,
That's your first time seeing him?
yeah, I mean that close. Oh yeah, I mean I was
Uh,
maybe about a few feet away from him. I don't know if there's a picture that they posted of him like kind of wave, and I was like on the other side of that picture because I remember that was
okay.
when he was heading out because we were trying to get in because we were kind of not saying a rush, but we were kind of
Right.
trying to get Bubba before he leaves. So
Oh, okay.
because and that's the one thing too that was good. Like with NASCAR, like they good as far as from a media standpoint. Hey, if you want access, hey, they can find your way to kind of who you need to talk to, where at least where you need to go. But we didn't really talk to Bubba because when we passed by him, he was pissed. I think a lot of stuff was going on with him. That race really wasn't the best for him, and then he was limping, so it was like, yeah, we ain't gonna talk to Bubba because
Right. Right.
he wasn't no mood to talk. But
That's what's up,
yeah,
though.
yeah, it was
That's what's
cool,
up,
man.
B. That was
Yeah.
up. That's what's up for real.
Yeah, yeah, and it's funny because I've been talking about trying to do NASCAR for a minute. So yeah, I was
Right.
definitely was a great experience.
Right. Right. Right.
Definitely looking forward to it. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Because I Chase Young, and then also I was listening to it was a lot of stuff that was going on that weekend. It was fun. It's like
Congratulations,
for them
man.
yeah, appreciate it.
Real.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know that's like something I want to do twice a year in Richmond. So when they come twice a year, and I might mess around so I see if I go other cities as well. But it's fun. I love it. Yeah,
Yeah, you seem like you was having a good
that's fun.
time.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was like kind of one of the coolest things I've done from a media standpoint. It was fun.
Man, the last few years you done did a lot though. You done went to the Hall of Fame. No, my bad. No, no. You went to see the Falcons, and then you went to the college Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah, College Football Hall of Fame.
Hall
Yep.
of Fame, College Football Hall of Fame, and then you went to um Columbine.
Come back. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Doing
Yep.
it, bro. That's what's up. That's what's up. Now you done
Yeah,
went seen. Now you done seen MJ at NASCAR. Like, you know
it's
what I'm saying?
wow. I know, right? And I was like, but that just show you like it's so crazy, like how MJ really it's weird, like he really fit in. Like you know how most
Hmm.
people do, you think when you're a superstar, like he would have
Right,
got mobbed.
right,
No, like I mean, it wasn't like a lot of people where he was
right,
at, but you got to think about it. MJ
right.
people would have been, but yo, it was crazy. Like it was just like it was wild because it's like
Was Darty there? What's his name? Brad Darty used to play for the Cavs. Was he there?
he might have, but I didn't see him.
Okay,
But
okay.
yeah, that was cool. I thought that was by far like a really cool moment. And it's crazy. I was gonna take a picture, but then I don't know if some reason my camera because how my camera was set up because I was getting ready to use the other camera that I had. So those two, my phone and my camera was connected together, and for some odd reason,
Hmm.
it kind of like froze up at that time. So I wasn't able to take the picture of the moment. But I like, hey, I don't forget the moment. I'm like, hey,
Yep. I
I'm in.
knew it. MJ's an alien. He's an alien. I knew it. I knew
But
it.
yeah, that was wild. But it was definitely fun. But yeah, NASCAR. Yes, I definitely can't wait to have that experience again. That was fun.
Right, word.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So we gotta talk about this week. We'll be previewing the AFC and the NFC North.
Yeah.
Yeah. A division that you're quite familiar with your Steelers.
Yeah.
So, so starting our preview for the AFC North. What is the biggest storyline for you in the AFC North?
Man, there is a lot of storylines. A lot of storylines. But of course, we all know the main one is definitely Deshaun Watson. But I really don't want to talk about that one. So I'm gonna go ahead and just find me another couple storylines. But definitely, man, um, for me, I went easy and I want to know. I said my storyline is the Ravens with coming back with is the Ravens going to be the king of the division again? I believe so. Even though they lost Brown, I still believe they are going to be with the injuries. Everybody somewhat coming back. I think they're going to be able to take the throne again. I think Lamar Jackson, even though he hasn't got his contract, um, I still think he's going to be motivated. Um, because even last year when they had the injury, they still was number one. You know what I mean? And even though the Bengals did what the Bengals did, even though they O line is getting better because they've always had offensive line issues. Um, every time I see Burrow go down, I always think he's about to get hurt. No disrespect, but I still think the Ravens are the ones that they're going to go back and win its division again.
Yeah. It's a few. Like I said, I think
Man,
obviously I think the elephant in the room is obviously the Deshaun Watson, more so just
right,
for the simple fact of it's more so at this point, we're looking at here. This is August the 16th. We're really looking at it's just more from a football scope, as far as
right,
when we're talking about it from this
right,
standpoint, as far as what it's going to be, the suspension and what's next for this team. Like as far as really there's, is the 6 game suspension going to stand or is going to be a
right.
year or longer? So that's the biggest, obviously, because I think that move is pretty much going to potentially decide his division as far as if his availability, his non-availability would definitely affect the trajectory of this division.
Hmm.
Also, life after Big Ben. I think the thing is,
That was one, yeah.
can Pittsburgh essentially can they continue the streak of consecutive win seasons? Because the last time they've had a losing season was in 2003, which is damn near
Hmm.
almost 20 years now. So
Right.
that too. Then the Super Bowl hangover for the Cincinnati Bengals. I know
Yeah. Yep.
obviously
I put
last
that
year.
too.
Yeah, obviously last year, you look at the loser last year in Kansas City Chiefs, they actually made it to the playoffs. And then
Right.
you look in the previous year when San Francisco lost, they didn't make the playoffs in 2020. So
Right.
it's one of those where what spectrum will they be on? And
Right.
then also Baltimore, they'll be back and running. Obviously, Lamar Jackson, he's back healthy. They'll get their
Right.
running backs, Gus Edwards back.
Right. Right.
J.K. Dobbins, they'll
Right.
be, then, this is where you know, is this is a big year for Lamar. Like to me, where he's
Hmm.
potentially he's on the doorstep of becoming one of the have one of the biggest contracts in NFL history. So
Right.
he's right on there on a cusp of getting that dubious distinction. So just curious how his play will be this season and how this Ravens team will be.
You
So
know,
go ahead.
with Mike McDonald coming back, I feel like, I was sitting here thinking about the Ravens, and I was like, nobody really talks about their defense like they used to. Like they got a quarterback now. He
Yeah,
can have decent weapons, but it was always injuries. But like, as long as your defense is still A+, man, the Ravens, they gonna be all right. You know what I mean? Like with
yeah,
the Bengals, a lot of games they won, they just what did I put down? I think they was just the defense always they was very clutch. They was always being able to make that one play so they can get over the hump. And this year, you know what I mean? I think it's gonna be a little different. I'm going to say that definitely because I'm a Steeler fan, so I'm like, I don't believe in them. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
yeah, man. But I'm with you though. Same storylines.
Yeah, and that's just how I look at it from that standpoint. So yeah, this is gonna be really intriguing, and almost I know we talked about as far as when we did the previews a few weeks ago, as far as the AFC West. This is
Hmm.
another team that I know we exercised that hyperbole 2 weeks ago, saying we can see a case for all four teams making it in the AFC West. And you can
Right.
almost basically say you can make a case for for all the four teams in the AFC North potentially, both all of
Right.
them. So it's definitely going to be an intriguing race to the finish. So,
Hmm.
breakout player in the AFC North, who you got?
Oh man, who did I put for the breakout player? Damn, what did I put, man? Um, who did I put? Oh, my bad, B.
Yeah,
Uh, I got Jacoby Brissett. I feel like I feel like yeah, I put Jacoby Brissett. I put him because I looked at his prior stats, and then I'm looking at the Browns. Even though they don't have Landry, they got Cooper. They still got weapons. They still have a decent defense. They still have a very good coach, and I just feel like if he could I think he could be a great just maintain the game. And then they got running backs. If he could just maintain the game, do the plays when he needs to, don't overdo anything. I think he's gonna have a breakout year this year. Like I put him in those categories of Fitzpatrick, Tyrod, them type of quarterbacks, and I feel like that's one of the reasons why he's there. Like I feel like he has a chance to still say, "Hey, man, I could be a star quarterback in somebody's team if they want me to."
yeah, yeah. Jacoby Brissett is go. And it's funny. He's now in another difficult position because obviously
Right,
he was obviously a part of that Patriot team when Brady got suspended, and then when Jimmy
right,
Garoppolo got hurt, he came in and scratched duty for that. So yeah, that's definitely interesting. I think the one I look at for the North is going to probably be Rashad Bateman. I think the wide receiver for the Ravens. I think
hmm,
him coming off because last year, obviously that was his rookie year. He
right,
had the groin injury, and that kind of slowed his development throughout the season. So I think
hmm,
he'll be a guy that could definitely a great route runner, strong wide receiver, and I think he'll be kind of one of those guys who I think if you really kind of collapse on Lamar in that running game, that he can kind of break you down to a
right,
point where hey he could potentially take the top off of a defense if you decide to
right,
collapse on that run game. So he's definitely going
right,
to be I think a guy if he stays healthy, he'll be a guy I think that that you can see potentially, not saying he's gonna have Mark Andrews type numbers, but he'll
right,
he'll be a guy I think that's gonna be solid. I say maybe about 700, 800 yards. I don't think
mm,
he's gonna be a perennial 1,000-yard receiver because obviously that offense really doesn't lend itself to 1,000-yard receivers in a sense.
right,
So I think Bateman, I think he'll be a guy that I think people will see and be like, okay, yeah, they legitimately got a wide receiver threat on this
right.
offense. So I think he'll be there.
Okay, okay, okay.
And let's see Who's the dark horse in the AFC North?
Um, I'm going with my Steelers. I feel like um, I was seeing who everybody's putting them at. They put them as like they're not putting them last, but they putting them like third. And I feel like you got Tomlin seem like he's motivated and he's happy, and you got Brian Flores over there. And I think the defense, I think Miles Jack and Bush is gonna figure because I know they got to prove themselves too because they're coming off of injury issues. But I feel like everybody, the chemistry is gonna be it's just a new chemistry in Pittsburgh by Ben being gone. And it seemed like everybody seemed like they're happy and they trusted one another. You know what I mean? And I just feel like they're gonna figure out a way to get over the hump. And then it's gonna shock a lot of people. Like this is truly Tomlin's team now. You know what I mean? They said he's like a big kid. They said he's smiling and having a good old time out there more than usual. So that I'm gonna give him my dark horse.
Yeah, big time.
I mean, I'm gonna say that we still got offensive line issues. We still got quarterback issues. Um, but I think you got me personally. I feel even though we had been there, it was always I always felt like it was those type of issues. As long as our defense can get us there, we good, you know. And then we got in Harris, you know what I'm saying? So as long as we can run the ball, do some play action, you know what I'm saying? But I'm really worried about that O-line. But yeah, you good.
Yeah. I think Cleveland. I think Cleveland is one of those ones where, and this is another one where this is kind of like the cascading effect of this potential Deshaun Watson suspension where in theory, as we talk as the show is being recorded on August 16th, we're bracing for the year-long suspension. So so that team is definitely going to change dynamic because obviously you have Jacoby Brissett at quarterback and potentially maybe a Jimmy G might be there. So that end of the ball, quarterback wise, is going to be the question mark. Everything else is pretty much established. You got a three-headed running attack, obviously with Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, and then Dearness Johnson. So that's good. Obviously, that offensive line is great as well. You bring in a guy like Amari Cooper, and that's just we talk about offensively, in which that's been their struggle, especially in the Baker Mayfield. Well, really last year, pretty much where they really struggled offensively. But their defense is championship caliber level. I mean, you got a guy like obviously like Myles Garrett, the other Myles Garrett, not our boy from Fox.
Not our boy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, MYLES, not MILES. So
right.
don't tweet at my boy during football season. So then also you got JOK. I think he's finally, potentially filling that role. Like a lot of people was looking at him and as far as coming out of the 2021 draft is that kind of that plug and play guy. Kind of that hybrid linebacker. So I think he'll come into fruition. And then that secondary, I mean, you talk about Denzel Ward. He's a guy that's shut down your opponent's wide receiver. So he's going to be there. Then you're going to have a healthy Grant Delpit. So I think that's good as far from the safety perspective. But you putting Denzel Ward on one side, you got Greg Newsome on the other.
Right.
They're gonna be a problem. They're gonna be a problem defensively.
Look,
so yeah.
I wanted to give it to the Steelers and I wanted to give it to them because I'm sitting here like, man, them Browns still kind of scared. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They still kind of scared.
And that's the thing where that's what I think potentially make them a dark horse because of the fact of the question mark at the quarterback position.
Right.
I think if everything was the status quo, Cleveland would be looking in a different realm where we don't even know who's going to be their starting quarterback. Like there's still rumblings about potentially Jimmy G coming. So it's like, and we're almost 3 weeks away from, really 3 weeks tomorrow. Well, not 3 weeks Thursday from the start of the NFL season. So that's what I think potentially makes them a dark horse because even with what their roster constructed now, it's almost like whoever's their quarterback, they're still going to be a dangerous team. They're going to be a guy because even last year they swept the Bengals, and who was who even though the Bengals didn't win the division, but they They did, yeah, they did win the division. That's right, they did. Yeah, so they won the
Hmm.
division. So yeah, so and they swept
Pittsburgh won the
them.
wild card. Pittsburgh
Yeah,
won the
that's
wild
right.
card.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Because they had a home game. They beat the Raiders. That's right. But yeah, so
Mhm.
that's another team where you look at as that potential. So, um, yeah, I definitely think Cleveland is a team that no one wants to see, especially late in the year, especially if whatever happens with their quarterback and their quarterback gets on the road, this team can be very scary, very scary.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Whole division.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Your hot take for the AFC North.
My hot take is basically what you were saying, and with my breakout player, I believe Jacoby Brissett will be the starting quarterback, and he will lead the Cleveland Browns to the playoffs, most likely a wild card.
Okay.
And basically everything that you said, it goes exactly with it. You know what I mean? I just think I seen who he was, and some people were saying they want Rosen, and I was like, yeah, I
Oh yeah,
see
that's
it.
right. Josh Rosen. Yeah, he is there. I
Yeah.
forget about Josh
But I
Rosen.
was like, I was looking at the stats. I was like, but I'm looking at Jacoby, like he had like 3,000 yard years, like with sorry teams. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
he was with the Colts, right? He was with the Colts. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Before Carson Wentz. Yeah.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying. I'm like, and when you got a team like that, that's what everybody was talking about Baker, like you got a bomb squad. But when you look at Baker, they was trying to make Baker a superstar. You know what I mean? But when you got somebody else who just can manage the game like a Trent Dilfer did when he was with the Ravens, you know what I mean? You're just there to manage the game, hand the ball off, make the plays, do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? And that you straight. I think the Browns will be dangerous. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think yeah, and I think that's going to be definitely interesting how that play how that dynamic is going to play out. But I think for
Mm-hmm.
the my hot take, and I think it's not really hot. It's probably like mild. Like even though I put it this way because a lot of people are looking at Cincinnati as this like this like they're gonna run this division.
Yeah,
No,
they
I
not.
don't. I'm telling you,
They not.
if you look at Cincinnati, I think what's gonna it's gonna for them it's gonna be a tail up. So I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs. I think they're gonna be a team that's
Me
not gonna
neither.
make the playoffs. And I think what's going to end up happening, how I think is going to end up happening, because their first 9 games is going to be a cakewalk. I mean, I think they got to play Pittsburgh once,
Right.
Baltimore once, and Cleveland. So to me,
Right.
I think worst case scenario before their bye week in week 10, they'll probably be like 7-3. I can see them potentially being. I'm not 7-3. That's right. They had 9 games, so I can see them really be 7-2. I can see them being 7-2. But then that second half stretch is going to be murderous. They got to go
Mm.
to Pittsburgh and Tennessee in back-to-back weeks. They got Kansas City on the docket. They
Right.
got Buffalo. They got obviously the Ravens and the Browns as well. And they got to go to
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo in week 17. So it's one of those where it's going to be a gauntlet. I think out of their
Right.
last 8 games, 6 of those teams made the playoffs. And the irony of it, one of the teams that did make the playoffs dismantled them in the regular
Right.
season.
Right.
So it's going to be a very interesting sequence for this Bengals team. I think I think they're going to finish. I mean, not finish, but I think they're going to start great and then just have a seismic December collapse like no other. So
Mm-hmm.
it's going to definitely be a very, very interesting
Right.
stretch for this Cincinnati Bengals team. But I think the Super Bowl hangover is real this time. I think it's going to be eerily similar to previous years, maybe not as a decline like the San Francisco 49ers of 2020, but
Right.
I don't think the team's going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I really believe that they, like I said, they was very clutch. I should say, you know what I mean, towards the end of the season. I felt like they just bit on their opportunity. They just was like, hey man, one play at a time, like you're supposed to. But I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs either. I think Lamar back. I think Lamar did the best thing ever saying I need to shut this down. You know what I mean? And get healthy.
Yeah.
You know.
So, do our predictions for the AFC North. Your predictions for the AFC North. What you got record wise?
Okay, I got let me see. I got the Bengals with 8-9. I got the Steelers with 10-7. I got the Browns 8-9, and I got the Ravens 11-6.
All right. And he said, who's 10-7, the Steelers or the Browns?
Yeah, Steelers. Which is It's weird because it's a little identical as last season if you pay attention to it, because the Ravens and the Browns had the same actual record, and I gave the Steelers just one more game than what they had last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I got the Ravens at 12-5. I definitely think they're going to win the division.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think they're destined to win this division.
Yeah.
I got the Pittsburgh Steelers at 10-7. I think they will be my wild card team. I think they'll be the wild card. I think they'll be the wild card team.
Right.
The Bengals, I think with them being 9-8, they will not make the playoffs. And then I got Cleveland being in last place at 8-9. I think just the simple fact of, yes, granted, no Deshaun Watson. So I definitely think that's going to be the issue at hand for them, because they, they need that quarterback, because that's really the missing piece. And to me, you have everything else. This Cleveland Browns, it's almost like, you can plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. So essentially, Deshaun Watson not gonna be there this year. So yeah, Jacoby Brissett, that's great and all, but and even with Jimmy G, if you even get Jimmy G, is he gonna be able to acclimate in this system right then? And if he was to come over to Cleveland, he'd have the same amount of much talent as he had in San Francisco, probably even better. But it's you need a quarterback, because this is the reason why you got rid of Baker Mayfield, because you need to go to the next level.
Right.
So you're not going to the next level with a guy that's, then Jacoby said, who's worse than Baker. So
hey man, don't be making fun of my breakout player, man. I believe in him.
No. I mean, he's going to be good, but that's the thing where Cleveland, the move was so they could bypass this division where you have the Cincinnati's of the world, you have the Baltimore's of the world. You really, honestly, when you want to go, match for match for a guy like a Deshaun Watson, a gunslinger like Joe Burrow, you're literally bringing a plastic butter knife to a gunfight week in and week out.
Right.
So it's great in theory, but and then even because he's gonna even make my guy Mitchell Joe Montana Trubisky the third best quarterback in this division. So, and I,
sure?
All
right, man. I'm trusting you. I'm trusting you.
Telling you, he's solid, and he was gonna be my breakout guy. But a part of me is like, this is a great opportunity for him, because I think people got to really realize he was, for the most part, really successful in Chicago. I think people fail to realize him under Matt Nagy, he got an unfair shake. I mean, it's just like, you can't, that situation, that was just going to be a hard situation for him. And you think about it, in 2018, he led that team to make it to the playoffs. And his team, this Pittsburgh Steelers team, is maybe more talented than that team in 2000, than that 2018 Bears team. Especially, hell, if y'all can win the turnover battle, I definitely think. But I think what's going to end up happening, and how y'all are, y'all gonna be pushing for Kenny Pickett. Well, Steelers fans, not you in particular, but just we talk about this off air all the time. Sometimes those knee-jerk reactions, people, and that's what's going to happen. They gonna snitching. I'm telling you, the moment my nephew throw an interception, they're gonna call for his head, and not knowing that you got to be patient in these situations. Right. And I think he would be a good. He's. I look at it like this: let Kenny Pickett just hold the clipboard this year. See what you got with Mitch. If Mitch can lead you to a winning, to a winning season, you just go for it. I just don't want the knee jerk reactions with him because still think he has a good shot. I think people fail to realize. I don't care who was going to be the quarterback under in Chicago, they wouldn't have been successful. I mean, just Matt Nagy in all its totality. Yes, he was great as far as developing like a guy like a Patrick Mahomes, and he's back in Kansas City. But the irony about that is he's probably going to have Kansas City's going to have a great season, and Matt Nagy's going to do a great job with him. And then they're going to put him back into the coaching realm. And then what's going to happen? He's going to probably ruin another quarterback if he gets hired somewhere else. So, and I think this is actually a perfect opportunity for Mr. Trubisky, like where he can go to a winning culture. And I think, Matt Canada could be, I think he could be, the OC could do a great job with this guy, with Mitch. So, I'm hoping that this all works out for him because I definitely think he's a guy that should deserve to be a starting quarterback again in the NFL.
I mean, it's a lot of pressure too, man, because this is the year Ben's gone, so everybody really looking. We all know that Kenny's most likely the future. You know what I mean? But I'm hoping Trubisky. I mean, I just think they got the right coach. The Tomlin is not. It's going to be like, hey, man, it's team. Let's work together. We just trying to get some wins. Let's get there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, and that's the thing where it's just you just don't, that's the thing about it's just the mystery of it. But I just hope that they get this man a chance. I just don't want people to burn down the river once, if he makes a mistake or make a blunder. That's all I'm saying. Y'all just gotta be patient.
Let me ask you a question. How do you feel, even though it's my team, how do you feel about them paying Dante $20 million?
I mean, it's the price of doing business these days. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's just if you don't, what you gonna do?
Right.
And that's the thing where it's like it's kind of tough because it's just the cost of doing business these days. Like, it's like, it ain't like how, you got to pay somebody. And pay him.
And I think, I don't know, maybe him, I don't know, maybe it might be, he might have better chemistry with these, one of these three quarterbacks. Because I know he dropped a lot of balls with Ben.
Yeah. And he'll probably, and then the good thing about it too with the wide receiver core with Pittsburgh, they always find ways. They do great as far as developing their wide receiver. So, I mean, I'm really confident in what they can do. They've been a wide receiver factory for a generation, pretty much. You think about the guys that came out of there, have been successful, even in Pittsburgh and also outside.
Right.
And some just put their S on. Yo, I hate Antonio Brown for that. Antonio Brown, that swear to God, that song lives in my
genius.
Mind. That song lives in my brain 24/7. It lives in my mind rent free.
You ain't gonna never see. I better just see back football players. Please don't let me see no NBA players out there doing that damn dance, bro.
I'm gonna tell you that song lives in my mind rent free for this whole entire month of August. Like it's literally paying rent.
You should have seen my face when he came out on stage doing it. Do your dance, AB. Do your dance.
I know. And then he was like, put that in on. And I was like, oh, we have a hit.
Right. Man, we go kill him.
Yo. And I was like, and then it's so funny because everybody started doing the dances and then the end zone, like, this dude's smart, man. Like people, he made.
Do you think the Cowboys gonna pick him up?
Hell no. No. I mean, no. Because it's just like they don't need that. I don't think nobody need that drama. It's just too much. It's too much going on with him.
So Jerry, you gonna sign AB? I don't know. I think about I'm gonna have to put my E on.
And guess what? And thank goodness he got Steven there to at least be the adult in the room and be like, no, we not doing that. Like at least his son know better. That's one thing I give Stephen Jones some credit. He the adult in the room that actually makes sense of all this. Like so, he the adult.
They need they need some receivers.
They can get some somewhere else. The wide receivers are like $5 DVDs in the bin. You'll find a good movie. Just search for it. Don't look for that shiny movie at the top. It's some stuff in that middle of that barrel that you can get with no drama. With no drama, you good. Yeah, serious man. They don't need that. That's too much.
I miss AB being on the field.
It's just too much.
I regret that he didn't. You know, my regret is he didn't get a chance to see himself make those catches live.
I swear, I thought it was fake because, I'm telling you, it's so crazy about that. You know how sometimes when you read stuff and you be thinking to yourself, "Am I okay?" Matter of fact, it reminded me of the same situation. Remember when he was going back and forth with the chick on the text message, right? And
and it looked like you thought it was fake. Yeah,
and I'm telling you, and it's funny because I read it to like my uncle, and I was like, "Look, I'm fine. Like I'm my facilities, I'm fine. Don't think I got slurred speech. I'm telling you, this is verbatim. I'm giving you a warning now. I'm gonna talk like my voice is slurred, or or I'm like I'm missing my words, but this is coming out of his mouth, and but I was like, huh? I was like, you're never gonna see yourself like. That's dumb. I mean, it's just like me saying. That's like you saying, I just want to sit on the couch and just live and watch my life pass and like see me doing stuff in life. How you're not gonna be able to sit down and you're not gonna be able to sit down and watch what you do. I'm like, huh? I was like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I'm like. Like,
right.
What's wrong, bro? What's wrong? I'd be like, huh? Like, what are we doing here? Like, I was just like, that's why I just charge it to other things that could potentially be going on, and that's why I'm not going to sit and judge. I'm assuming that's it could be some other stuff that's going on, so that's why I read it. I just don't understand it, but I'm illiterate. But I'm literate though. So
he from the bottom. He from the bottom. I'm saying 14 million. He from the bottom.
Yeah, but it's weird.
Yeah,
but I can't decode. I'd rather learn a different language. Like I can't decode what's going on, and I'm not gonna belabor my.
That's the only way I'm gonna do. That's the only part I'm gonna do with that dance is this. I ain't gonna do nothing else because somebody
that's a little
them videos they gonna be grandkids. They're just like, granddaddy, what you doing?
Why is you moving your hands like somebody moving their hips?
Right. What is going on?
What are you doing? Why is you swinging like that? Why is you like going from side to side in that kind of motion? Like
sway.
Like grandpa, you look really sassy over there. Really sass over there. I'm like, I'm like, damn, I'm like, this grandma and Meemaw. Like,
I remember, look, when you was young, you'd be around your your girl cousins and stuff, and then you get around your uncles and your boy comes like, hey man, you can't be doing that. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, you can't, right, and you can't be doing stuff.
Right, you can't be doing that.
Easy big oven, bro.
Yeah, don't do that, Sean. All right. Oh, dang, you right. You right. My bad. It's crazy. I guess we got to talk about this weak division.
I don't know. This division, you know what? This is a sleeper division out of all of them. It's a lot. It's a lot of intrigue in this division. I think this could potentially. I wouldn't say it's a multiple team race, but it is a it's an interesting race. So
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, it is. Once I look at it, it is. I wrote a lot of stuff, so you right. I'm
so
about to.
let's and shout out to our guy Cool.
What up, cool?
Yeah, let's get this going here. So
Hey,
and
cool.
oh yeah, huh?
Get your it.
I'm like, bro, like, why is he like, yo? I be like, yo, this is so like, I hate, like, dude, when he do that, yeah. And shout out to our guy. What's going on, Freddie? What's going
What
on?
up, Fred? What up, Fred? Do
Yo,
your dance, AB. Do your dance.
I'm like, yo, it's
My
wild.
bad.
I tell
My
you, man,
bad.
I know it lives in my mind rent free for fact, for sure. So, biggest storyline in NFC North. We got
Uh, mine is it. Does Rogers have enough weapons to stay successful? Um, it's a lot of old guys. Even though he didn't get he didn't get a receiver for the first round. I don't know, man. They always seem like to me they relied on Adams and they relied on Rogers being his um his greatness, but when you really buckle down and look at these other teams, they can actually lose the division this year. I want to. I don't want to say too much, but I don't think the Bears is really going to do anything. I think they. I think that they don't. They really haven't been building around Fields, but the Lions though, man, like they can easily like turn up because they play hard anyway. But some of the subtle moves, the coach. I don't know, man. If I put it on. I think if golf don't hold them back, they actually could be successful. You know what I mean? But I really don't have much to say. I don't think. I think Adams has always because I think the division always like for instance like the Vikings. The Vikings actually could have been very successful last year, but they what was it? What was it? I got a 12 out of 5 games was close
oh
games. They lost by like like a score. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, so they could have easily been more successful. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I want to know if Rodgers is going to be as great. I mean, I think he's still going to be great, but I really want to see if he going to be to move them and still get them to be the top of the division.
yeah. And also, before we get into the storylines, and I forgot to mention this, so we did do the Twitter poll on our Twitter page, Couch Coach
Hmm.
Live, twitter.com/Couch Coach Live, and the results are in for the poll results. So, who will win the AFC North? 48.7% say that the Cincinnati Bengals will win. Coming in second is the Baltimore Ravens at 28.1%. The Steelers at 15.6%, third place, and then the Browns being at 7.6. Definitely a huge shout out for everybody who went to our polls. So definitely
Right,
always head
right.
over to our Twitter page, Couch Coach Live slash twitter.com/Couch Coach Live. And yeah, definitely shout out to them. So I think the biggest storyline for the NFC North, I think, is obviously Aaron Rodgers.
Hmm.
As far as the losses of also Valdez Scantling, also coupled with uh, Adams, Devontae Adams, what they got left in the tank. Um, can this team still be leaders of this division? Detroit, Detroit is one of those. Detroit is the flavor of the month that um, that's going to be definitely an interesting. Detroit Lions is going to be a team that's on the rise. Obviously led by Matt Campbell, the knee biting. We thought it as a tongue in cheek joke last year, but
Mm.
yeah, you might want to get your knee pads ready and get your dentures ready because I think this Detroit Lions team is gonna bite some knees and it's
Yeah.
gonna hurt some people. It's gonna be like, ouch, Charlie. The Detroit Lions bit me. I mean, that's how it's really gonna be. I mean, so Detroit is gonna be an interesting team. Um, you know, Minnesota. Kirk Cousins' family has a head coach that actually likes him. So how that is
Mm.
going to be. So obviously Mike Zimmer. We know Mike Zimmer and Kirk Cousins weren't on there. They weren't on each other's list as far as giving out, fruit cakes or potentially holiday greeting cards. So we
Right.
knew they weren't on the list of each other. They really wasn't the best. They didn't have the best relationship. And I think it was ever present, especially as the departure of Mike Zimmer, that they were not on each other's Christmas list.
Hmm.
And and for the Bears wise, what the Bulls playing? Because I mean, because this Bears team, even though they got the new head coach there, they really didn't do much of nothing. I know they did get Nikhil Henry, so
Disrespectful.
I mean, it's gonna be it's gonna be a cold winter. It's gonna be a cold winter.
I remember that Steeler game against them, and I felt like they played they hard out against the Steelers, and they cheated for them
Yeah.
last year. I remember that, and I kept saying to myself, the refs got to protect this damn quarterback because it was oh man, but he was playing his heart out. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
just it's a trip,
Yeah.
B. It's a trip, but I think that yeah. So let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
So their last coach was it Nagy?
Yeah, Matt Nagy, yeah.
And then Nagy, him and the GM, they brung Field, so they're gone. So what do you think with this new situation, the new system, and everything? You think they want this kid, they want this quarterback?
I think so. I think at least they're gonna at least kick the tires and see what they can get out of him, and they'll have that opportunity, to get him. Because I know the coach first name is Matt, but I do not know for the earth of me. It'd be the $1,000,000 to pronounce his name. They put a gun to my head to put his name Gona. But their coach there. So I think I think they're going to try at it with Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields is a good quarterback. And I think that's another thing too, where when we talk about as far as Matt Nagy, that's the elephant in the room. It's one of those where it's a tricky situation. To me, Matt Nagy, I don't think that was his guy anyway. Like as far as a guy that he wanted. So I think now Justin Fields get a clean slate, and
Right,
hopefully they can get some weapons around him. Obviously, they lost a guy like Allen Robinson,
right,
but also Nikhil Henry's there.
right.
So I mean, there's some stuff there, like as far as weapons, and there'll be a team that's going to be tough.
That's what I was going to ask you. What weapons do you think they put around him to be successful? Because really, man, this was the time to do it because because the simple fact, like, Green Bay don't have the weapons, and a lot of their weapons are old and then coming off injuries.
Yeah, and I think they like the Nikhil Henry thing. I think that was kind of interesting because obviously I think his situation in New England really wasn't the best. So I think he could get somewhat of a clean slate. I mean, as far as what wide receiver wise, they really don't have like as far as from a name brand standpoint, guys. Like think about a guy like a Byron Pringle, who was obviously a part of that Kansas City offense last year in a small segment, small sample size. I like him. I think he's going to be solid, but I think they do got a Cole Kmet as their tight end. I think he's a solid tight end, but as far as weapon wise, their running backs a little bit. Obviously David Montgomery and then our guy Khalil Herbert from Virginia Tech is there as well. But I mean, it's bare bones. Still saltines in the pantry. They like bubble gum from Halloween, and it's August. It's gonna be offensively it's gonna be some rough, and then now this whole thing about Smith want to be traded. Then there's some drama in between that could potentially put a dark cloud over this team. Like I said, it's Chicago.
It's a horrible organization.
You're probably waiting for the Bulls to get going. I think by the time 7 weeks roll in, he'll be ready for the Bulls to start playing.
How the baseball team do it?
The Bulls will be the only shot by October. I mean, honestly, it's gonna be that bad. I think potentially, but yeah, and and I think they'll be in games. Don't get twisted. I don't think they're gonna be like by far the worst team in the NFL, but they'll have some games. They'll play some meaningful football. But
they'll be better than the Texans.
Potentially. I don't know. The Texans are a little bit different. The Texans, I don't know. They're a little intriguing. They're like a little low key intriguing. But I just look at their weapons on offense because I think their defense could be solid, but it's just that offense that it's gonna be rough.
And it's bad because you can sit there and look at Fields and say, "Oh, he's a good quarterback," but what can you say he's really good at?
But yeah, shout out to Ken. Good with those. I don't know.
Right.
It was good enough for him to be back with his family and reunite his family and all that type of stuff. Yeah, it was what he had. It was something that I think we all might need to at least get a sample size of it. I don't know if I can handle a full dose of that, but I mean, hey,
that stuff ain't cool. Size. That stuff he tried. If you ever seen somebody take it, that stuff ain't cool. For real.
Yo, dude. Hey man, this dude's wild, but right. Exactly. He's seen the light. Like it's like, bro. Like I said, give me 1/8 of that. Like don't give me a half a size or 1/4. Like the piece like a pizza. Give me like 1/8 of it. At least, coat a little bit on my tongue. Just to kind of, But yeah, wow.
Y'all laughing. They're gonna mess around and come in here. He gonna be spraying the lawn butt naked. Hey man, you Rodgers out there. Hey everybody, it's okay.
Yeah, dude, wow. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, yeah. Shout out to Aaron Rodgers, class of 2002. Shout out to Aaron Rodgers, class 2002 brethren. We all we got out here in these streets. So breakout player in the NFC North. Who you got?
I got Justin Jefferson.
Ooh, okay.
I feel like so the Vikings basically was a running team, right? They've always been like somewhat a running team, and you all know Kirk Cousins. Play action, manage the game. Well, with this new coach, he wants them to throw the ball, and I think it's an opportunity for Jefferson to get like 1,600 yards and just ball out. Be who everybody believe he is, and this, we know it's getting towards the end. I know. Shout out to Kirk Cousins, man, because he done. You talk about a quarterback that hustled the game. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. Ain't been overly not tripping on nothing. He just did his thing. Now we about to see. I think with this coach, this new system, I want to see if this dude really throw that ball down the field. You think he could throw that ball down the field, Coach?
I'll tell you momentarily. Wait on it.
So I'm going Justin Jefferson. I think he gonna do like 1,600 yards.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a guy that I really like, and I'm telling you, I would buy stock on this guy really, really heavily. We got so many talented guys. We had, Taylor Swift, Stromile Swift, but we got DeAndre Swift from the Detroit Lions running back will enter the Swift chat. I think he's a guy, and I'm telling you now with the Detroit Lions team, and I know Hard Knocks about to come on in about a few more minutes.
Right.
But maybe I need to step away from the television. But I think now now they got a healthier offensive line. You got
Right.
you think about Taylor Decker's on the left tackle. Then my guy
Mhm.
Penei Sewell, I call him the generational talent on the right side of that line. And then also Frank Ragow, the Pro Bowl offense O line guard. Coupled with that, they're gonna give him tremendous room to run and do his thing. You think about Taylor Swift. Taylor ain't gonna be the only Swift that people gonna know in households and
Mm.
in streets. DeAndre Swift is going to have a hell of a year. He now has a healthier offensive line. You don't have
Right.
to put Penei Sewell on one end and on the other. He's going to park his butt on the right side, and then also Taylor Deck is going to be on that left side. And
Okay.
well, you can't cancel Christmas. You might have to cancel Thanksgiving, but DeAndre Swift is going to be. He's gonna be talented. I think.
Okay.
And he's gonna be in my Charles Barkley voice. I guarantee he gonna have 1,000 yards this year running the football.
Okay.
I can see it. I can see.
Okay. I heard that too. I heard that too.
Don't be surprised if you see him. See that. See that man going to the Pro Bowl the week before the Super Bowl. Maybe it's alternate. But hey, I'll stick to it. If Mac Jones can make it, we all can make it. Okay? let me stop slighting Mac Jones. We'll do that next week for the AFC East. We'll throw all our shades and discrepancies out.
I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I seen that. I heard that too. It's a good chance. It's just the Lions, so we kind of like, and the quarterback. He's had success. He's got to lead them. He ain't even really got to lead them. They really just need to be put in the right position. That's it.
Yep.
Because they got everything. They really got everything. And like you said, healthy this. Got some other teams that can, just lead them, bro.
I'm telling you, this Detroit Lions team, I'm telling you, every week you have to.
And they like their coach. They love their coach.
Oh, they're Dan Campbell. I think I said Matt Campbell the other day, but Dan Campbell. They gonna run through a brick wall for that man. And like when you come and Detroit, we come out there on September the 17th. We bring in knee guards, 2 bag lunches, two brown bag lunches filled with protein.
Bring them some chicken and mumbo sauce.
Nah, that's high blood pressure. We don't need that. Especially going against the Detroit team. Hell no. We need lean meat, grass-fed meat, great protein, some health-hearty greens. Because that Detroit team is gonna be physical. I'm telling you, you better pack a lunch, and we ain't talking about a sandwich and a Swiss roll. You got to get some good eating when you go against the Detroit Lions team. Yeah, they're
gonna be serious, man, for real.
They some dogs. Arf! Anyway,
do your dance, AB.
All right.
My bad.
Put that on. So let's
do he even rap on the song? That's all I know. Do he even rap?
He does. I mean, I think he was saying something. Some gibberish. I don't know. He did because I seen like the rolling. I was again rolling loud.
Rolling loud, yeah.
Rolling loud thing, and it like he was saying something.
I don't think he rapped.
Or maybe that was an ad lib. Maybe he was just doing an ad lib.
I think he was. I don't think he had a verse. I think he was just walking back and forth. Anyway?
Doing a stroll, doing the modern day Vogue.
Was that a blood orange outfit?
I don't know what that was. That was Sun Kiss Orange.
Fanta Tangerine.
Exactly.
Clementine.
That's that Spanish Harlem. Bonacita Pinando. All right, man. This shit going nil. Let's say we're going off the rails. We gotta reel this back in. We need
Let's go.
we need a
Okay, let's go.
mediator. We need a mediator. We need a Molly Carroll
No, we don't.
or
No, we don't. You know what?
a Jenny.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a Molly Curran in this junk. Yeah.
Yeah, we should have been on a like one more tangent and then we're gonna
Right. Did you see the boat?
So I'm sitting here, right, and I'm just chilling because normally I don't watch because I knew Steve Day was coming back, right? So normally I don't watch TV during the day, so I'm just taking my break and whatever. I'm just chilling. So I'm like, I cut on the TV. No, I ain't cut on the TV.
Mm-mm.
I was on my phone, and I'm like, this fool on a boat. Like, are you serious? Like, why
Hey,
are you on a
Slim.
boat?
Slim,
Oh
they look
my-
so uncomfortable. The dude's hair, was, I was like, what the hell wrong with his head? Then
Of
I was like,
course.
why would he have that suit on? I was sitting there like, why would he wear that suit?
And
And
right.
was that hot pink?
Exactly. I'm like, dude,
My bad. I think it's salmon.
whatever
Salmon.
it is. I know when I seen him on a boat, I'm like, what the hell are y'all doing? Why are y'all on a boat? Like,
Why
really?
you on the boat?
You're not even supposed. Why would you do a show on a boat? Like, that's crazy.
And he was grinning. He was so happy. He was so happy. He was just as happy as could be.
See, that's what's wrong with gimmicks. But I don't know. I might. You trying to go on the Spirit of Norfolk and do a show on the Spirit of Norfolk?
Remember that?
Be the Spirit of Norfolk. Nah,
Nah,
I'm just joking.
I got you.
If we would have had Annabelle Lee, oh, it would have been lit.
Yo, that's so funny that you said it because I watched it. I was like, Molly looked like I am not feeling this. She had her arm in the back hold like the boat. Like
I know that. Oh gosh, I probably would have had a conniption because I'm like kind of seasick, and that if you think about it, it was a lot. It was kind of like topsy turvy. That water was right there.
Right.
I mess around sometimes, even when I be out there at what's chunk I be going to in Verona? I forgot what it's called, Pony Pastures.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I even looking out that river there, I'd be like, shoot, I finna throw up. I'm gonna throw up my dental. Cause that's on deep.
You know, he was so happy. He was so happy. Like he was so psyched.
Yeah.
I was like, he's so psyched with this bright suit on. And I'm looking at his hit. Like, I'm like, yeah, what's going on? Like,
yeah, because he ain't been back. He been gone for like almost 2 months. That's probably why he was excited to get back. But I'm like y'all fools on a boat.
And you know what's weird? He was so happy, but the other two seemed like they was just like, you know what I mean? It was weird. It was it was real strange.
But yeah, don't do that on a boat. Like, I don't think if I'm gonna be on a boat, I'm not gonna be talking sports. Either I'm throwing up or I'm gonna be in a little inside part, having deli cuts, cheese crackers, and some whatever, some local.
He said deli cuts or some cheese crackers. Yo, you know what I be doing? I be trying to throw the Super Bowl trophy to the other boat.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And I would be like Tom Brady, like, because I'd be so seasick, but I don't want to be drunk. I'd be seasick. Like,
right.
I was like, I couldn't imagine being on a boat like that. I would probably freak the hell out. I'd have been like, That's why I'm like, no, nope.
It's hilarious.
Not gonna be able to do it.
That's hilarious.
So, dark horse in NFC North.
I'm giving it to the Vikings. Like I said before, what was it? 14 out of 15 games. They was there. 14 out of 15 games. They only lost by like one score. So, with this new coach, like you said, I didn't even know that. He loves Carson. I think they just gonna move forward. They got the defense is good. They got the receivers. They got dudes that was hurt coming back. They got Cook. They got Irv Smith. They got Fillings. They got KJ. They got Madison. I think they're gonna be all right. I should have picked them to pick the division, but I'm not going to. I can't do that until, I mean, the dude was MVP 2 years straight. You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. When you get into the playoffs, you stink it up. But so that dark horse, I'm giving it to the Vikings.
Yeah, same here. I think obviously, and I've talked about this even in the beginning of when Kevin O'Connell got hired
Mm-hmm.
at the Super Bowl, even when it was rumored during the Super Bowl. Like I thought that was probably by far the best hire for Minnesota because obviously Kurt and Kevin is reunited. Because obviously, when you really sit down and think about it,
Mm-hmm.
the main reason why Kirk Cousins is in Minnesota because of the play in Washington and who was his quarterback's coach at the time, Kevin O'Connell.
Right.
So, he had one of his best seasons under the tutelage of Kevin O'Connell as QB coach back in Washington 2017. So, like I said, he got a coach that likes him. And then also, I think a young up and coming offensive coordinator coming up, Wes Phillips. Obviously, the name is familiar. That's Wade Phillips' son, Bump Phillips' grandson. I think he's going to be kind of one of those up and coming guys because he came along with him with the Rams. So I think they're going to be a nice duo to help Kirk Cousins out. I think from what I was told, I think Kevin's going to run the offense as far as play calling wise. He'll call the plays.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, I think also like the running backs, obviously, you look at like Madison. I think he's another guy where he really stepped up, especially when Dalvin Cook was out for the significant amount of time last year. So you got him coupled with for Dalvin Cook, that wide receiver core, Adam Thielen, also
Thielen, yeah.
Justin Jefferson, Irv Smith Jr. at the tight end position. Like you said, that defense is stout. One of the biggest acquisitions, I think, getting a guy like a Zadarius Smith from Green Bay, you get that. Then that secondary is solid, obviously. Then getting a guy like a Lewis Sign from Georgia, the rookie. So I think that coupled with Harrison Smith there in the fold, that and Jordan Hicks comes from Arizona. Eric Kendricks, he's another solid guy there as well. But they're another team where I think Minnesota, like you said, those lose those heartbreaking games. And that's the crazy thing about it. When you sit down and you really think about it, those losses a lot of them, it was in the beginning of the season. And just imagine if they would have kind of got some of those, because they almost damn near backpedaled themselves in the playoffs last year.
Right.
And
they're very balanced too, man. They got a lot of young guys and vets. You know what I mean? They're very balanced. Yeah, it'd be funny. Let me tell you, it's weird because this thing if Rodgers was on the Vikings, you know what I mean? No offense, they probably won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they'd be a definitive favorite. Yeah,
yeah,
and because especially, but the only thing about it, when they've been paying that man almost $50 million, that payroll would have been a little tight.
Right.
But let's see. Your hot take for the NFC. The NFC North. Let me backtrack this one up.
My hot take is with the new coach for the Vikings wanting them to not run but pass the ball, Kirk Cousins will be one of the top quarterbacks in the league, getting 35 TDs and like 4,900 to 5,000 yards.
Oh yeah, that's definitely doable.
Ain't it doable?
Oh yeah, big time, especially for Kirk. Yeah, he can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would say I wanted. I've been leaning on this for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to kind of give out. How can I say this? I don't want to give out content that we're going to discuss maybe about 2 weeks when we talk about as far as our playoff teams, who will be our wild cards.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to kind of do a little tease. This Detroit Lions team, they're going to be playing meaningful football in a month of January. We got 2 games in January now.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have a legitimate shot. I definitely think they have a legitimate shot of playing legitimate football potentially in the 3rd week of January. But I'll give my complete playoff breakdown on August 30th, 2 weeks from tonight, when we conclude all of our previews there. But
Mm-hmm.
not be surprised from 2 weeks from tonight, and I might say the Detroit Lions team may be in the playoffs.
Mm.
Be surprised, but I think
Not be.
with a great, it could be potentially.
I mean, the NFC is kind of, it easily could be because NFC is kind of, yeah, you know,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be a free for all, and I think
Right.
as I think this is our third division that we previewed, and I look at even the records that I've had so far. There's a log jam, and we when we do the record predictions,
Right.
it's going to be a log jam at that 9-8 spot. I think that
Right.
9-8 record is going to be extremely.
Right.
It's going to be congested to a
Right.
point where you'll see a lot of teams, and it's going to be a lot of variables that's going to potentially happen. So I would not be surprised if there's about 4, maybe 5 teams that might finish 9-8,
Mm.
and whoever, and maybe one spot might be up for grabs, maybe 2 spots be up for grabs. But I still definitely think there could be potentially. I envision maybe about 4 teams tops that could potentially be 9-8 and jockeying for some finite playoff spots. So
Mm.
I'm assuming it's probably more than likely, maybe I think 9-8 may get you 1 spot in, maybe 2 at worst, because obviously you'll have the 3. I mean, you'll have the 4 division winners, and then you have the 3 wild cards. And the way I'm thinking, and I think the East next week is really going to really paint the definitive picture for me, because I think there's potentially 3 10-win teams in the greatest division of all time, the NFC East. But we'll talk about that next week. But
Mm-hmm.
give you the art of tease. but so record predictions for this NFC North. What you got?
Okay, so I got the Bears at 5-12.
Ooh.
I got the Lions, and this is just me, but I really think it's going to be different. I got them at 6-11.
Okay.
I got the Vikings at 10-7, and I got Green Bay Packers at 11-6.
Okay.
Now, you know what's weird? That can easily, like Green Bay can easily be the 3rd, and the Vikings could be at the 1, and the Lions could be at the 2. You know what I mean? Can easily be that way.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got the Chicago Bears at 6-11.
Mm-hmm.
The Detroit Lions at a robust 9-8.
Okay.
The Minnesota Vikings at a robust 9-8. And the Green Bay Packers at 11-6 as well. I definitely think there'll be a team. I don't think they're going to be the 13-win team, 13-4 that we grew accustomed to in the past seasons under Matt LaFleur, another former Washington guy. Out, but they're going to take somewhat of a step back. But I think even at 11-6, I'll take that step back. I mean, I think most teams would take that step back from being like a 13-4 team the previous year. You lose like two more games, which I would take that. Most average NFL most average NFL teams would take that.
Mm. Okay.
So before and so let me pull up the Twitter results here for the North. Let me it took it off. But all right, let me get that squared away. All right, let's see. All right, so we got that one pulled up.
It's like we just won't bake against Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and even and definitely a huge shout out to everyone who voted on this poll. So the couch coaches have spoken. The Packers, they had pretty much a almost a landslide victory. This as far as when you look at compared to the AFC North, where there was somewhat of a gap in between. But the Green Bay Packers, 51.1%, the majority of the votes went in with them. Detroit Lions at a surprising 13.6. The Bears 8%. So we had some, I guess maybe some people in the metropolitan Chicago area or some Bears fans chimed in. 8% of them potentially. I think
Mm.
that, some people are just or they're just trolling on the poll. And then you had the Minnesota Vikings at a robust 27.3 in second place.
Mm.
So it is going to be a definitely interesting race. But I think everybody's like, I think we all say, hey, we're not going to count Green Bay until we see them not, not win this division. I mean, when we really think about, when Aaron Rodgers really said he owns the Chicago Bears, he pretty much owns this division as well for the most part.
Right.
So yeah, that's a bow on the AFC, NFC, and AFC Norths. We three-fourths out the way with our divisional previews, and of course, like the great Vanessa Williams, we are saving the best for last. So next week we got the AFC East, which they are, right. But to end our divisional previews, we'll close out next Tuesday with the greatest division in NFL history. All four of those division participants have won a Super Bowl, and no division has ever done that. So, by far the greatest division of all time. We'll be discussing that tomorrow, next Tuesday episode of Couch Coach Live. So, we definitely, when we say last but not least, last and definitely not least is going to be the NFC East. And then obviously we'll give you the appetizer, the AFC East. Then we'll give you the 4-course meal that is the NFC East. So prepare yourself.
I am lost for words.
Yes, it's by far the greatest, and obviously that gets the most banter. That used to be the longest show. I think last year, I think it was almost a 2-hour show last year when we did it, and it was crazy because it was you and I. We had
And cool.
bars, it ain't cool. So we had
Yeah, bars are cool. Yeah.
it was 4 guys on the panel.
Right.
It was to a point where bars like, I had enough. I got to go. So yeah, it's going to definitely be like that, and we'll continue our team by team previews starting on Friday. So it looks like we actually officially this is the first normal circumstance where we actually have everything kind of in place. So we'll have the Eagles and the Patriots on Friday. We'll have the Jets and the Giants on Saturday. We'll have the Miami Dolphins and the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday. And then on Monday, we'll have the Buffalo Bills and the 2022 NFC East champion Washington Commanders to round out our all 32 NFL teams. We'll have that starting on Friday, and then we'll lead that with our previews next week. And we're just marching on with our NFL previews, and definitely huge shout out to all the teams that have been represented, everybody who came on and represented for what we've had thus far, the 24 teams that we've already previewed. We still got the final 8 left, and we just rolling on along on this 9th annual Couch Coach Live NFL preview. So before we head on out, final words and social media. What you got?
Social media, DT Morgan 78 Instagram, Sean Morgan Facebook. Great show. Do your dance. I'm just playing. But yeah, great show, man. Can't wait till next week. It's going to be hopefully Cool gonna be in there. I want to see Cool, man. I want to see Cool. Hopefully he ain't busy, so we can talk that talk. You know what I mean? Because I need some backup. Because I'm a little. My stomach hurting for what you just said, but I had to take it on the chin. I had no argument. But it is what it is. You know,
And
I
you got
thought you grew. I thought you grew, man, since 2018. Was you still you? You
no,
still
no. Like my bass is showing. That's why like I my bass be showing for sure. I can't. That's why I had to like, and you'll see when with the Commanders preview, I had to kind of temper my emotions. So and also you can he'll catch cool. He'll be previewing the Eagles. That'll be Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He'll be previewing the Eagles for us. Yeah, so Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, under Couch Coach Live. Pretty much anywhere you get your social media, we're there. Podcast, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, we're there. Just Couch Coach Live. Check out the website, couchcoachlive.com. That's just about it for me. And also just be on the lookout for the podcast and also definitely follow us on Twitter. Have majority of the content is on our Twitter. So doing that as well. And website couchcoachlive.com. Podcast, if y'all want to catch up on the teams, you can check out the podcast, the divisional previews there. And also go on our YouTube page if obviously we did 24 teams already. If you miss your team, we're there. So pretty much if you're an AFC, NFC West guy or gal, whoever, you can pull that up on our YouTube page. If you're a fan of any of the teams in the North or the South, we got you covered there as well. We got divisional previews and also team by team previews on our Couch Coach Live YouTube page. So, man, once again, another great show. And we'll catch you guys next week, man. This has been this week's Couch Coach Live.
well.